Hey traders, welcome back to the channel. It is Tuesday, February 24th, and what a wild day. It was pretty much like yesterday in reverse. So let's get right into the news. So markets just closed recently, and if yesterday was a gut punch, today was a little bit of a deep breath. But the question everyone is asking tonight is, was today an actual real bounce, or is the market just catching its breath before the next leg down? We don't know yet. Let's start with the numbers. So the S&P 500 climbed 0.77%, closing at 6,890. The Dow added 370 points to finish at 49,174, and the Nasdaq led the charge up 1.4% to settle in at 22,863. So definitely a solid day of green across the board. But here's the thing. Yesterday, the Dow lost 822 points. Today's recovery only clawed back about half of that. So it was a good day, but the upside of today was not nearly as much as the downside of yesterday. But here's the story that really drove the bounce today. AMD. AMD exploded nearly 9% today after Meta Platforms announced a massive multi-year deal to deploy up to 6 gigawatts of AMD's graphics processing units inside of its AI data centers. So let that sink in for a second. 6 gigawatts of chips. That's not a partnership, that's a declaration. And the market loved it. This wasn't just good news for AMD. It sent a signal that the AI spending boom isn't over and that NVIDIA isn't the only horse in the race. Speaking of AI, yesterday's panic was triggered in part by fears that AI tools are going to destroy software companies. But today, those same software stocks quietly staged a comeback. ServiceNow, Intuit, and Salesforce were all up around 3%. The narrative is shifting from AI will kill software to maybe we overreacted. Maybe. The other bright spot today was Home Depot. The home improvement giant beat earnings expectations for the first time in a year, posting $2.72 per share against estimates of $2.54 per share on revenue of $38.2 billion. They even raised their dividend. Not really a flashy story, but exactly what a shaky market wants to see. A boring, reliable company doing its job. Now, here's the elephant in the room: tariffs. Trump has raised global tariffs to 15% after the Supreme Court struck down his earlier plan. So gold is up over 2% as investors run for safety. The financial sector, meaning banks, credit cards, the whole ecosystem, is the worst performing sector in the S&P 500 this year, down more than 7%. And Bitcoin is on pace for its worst month since 2022. So all eyes are on NVIDIA tomorrow because they will report earnings. And if they crush it, the bounce could become a rally. And if they disappoint, the 68,000 level on the S&P becomes the line in the sand. And if they crush it, that's no guarantee that they're actually going to trade higher the next day. As you well know, a lot of times stocks are beating every single metric that they're expected to beat, and they still trade down the next day. So you just don't know. Once again, like I always say, that's the reason to be quick on your ins and outs, be nimble. Never expect that you think you know what's going to happen just because you saw what just did happen. Case in point, yesterday and today. Yesterday we had a terrible down day. Everything looked like this. Today it bounced. Everything looked like that. So if you came into yesterday thinking it was going to be up, you were faked out. You lost money. If you came into today thinking, well, yesterday was terrible, we're just going to have a continuation of yesterday, you would have also lost money. You just need you need to have your head on a swivel and be quick to react to things as they happen. That's why you'll notice that I never predict stocks. I never predict what's going to happen because I know that nobody can really predict with any certainty what's going to happen a long ways out. You can only predict with any certainty what's going to happen in the very near term, like the immediate term time frame. So that's why I just wait to see what actually does happen and then jump on board and take that ride and, take the profits as they're given to me and then get off the bus before it turns around and goes the other way. That's what I do every single day. So until tomorrow, have a good evening. See you back here tomorrow afternoon. And the most important earnings report of the year is dropping tomorrow, so don't miss it. Have a good night, everybody. Bye-bye.